My fiancée joked to her friends, "He should date my cousin. She actually has standards." I said, "Good to know." That night, I called her cousin and repeated every word a month later when I walked into the family gathering with her. My fiancé's face shut the whole room down. I'm Nolan, 32, and I'd been engaged to my fiancée Rebecca for 8 months when she decided to humiliate me in front of her friends. That decision ended up being the best thing that ever happened to me, though she definitely wouldn't see it that way. Rebecca and I had been together for 3 years total. We met through mutual friends at a barbecue, hit it off immediately, and fell into one of those relationships that just felt easy at first. She was smart, funny, had a good job in marketing. I thought we complemented each other well. Her family seemed to like me. My family loved her. Everything looked perfect on paper. But about 6 months into our engagement, things started shifting. Little comments here and there. She'd make jokes about my clothes, my car, the restaurants I'd choose, nothing too harsh, always delivered with a laugh, but they added up. Her friends would laugh along, and I'd smile like I was in on the joke, but it stung. The breaking point came on a Friday night 3 months ago. Rebecca was hosting a girls' night at our apartment. Her and 4 of her closest friends, wine, cheese, the whole setup. I was supposed to be out with my buddies, but our plans fell through last minute. I came home around 9 p.m., planning to just grab some food and hang out in the bedroom so I wouldn't interrupt their night. I walked in quietly, heard them laughing in the living room. I was heading toward the kitchen when I heard Rebecca's voice rise above the others. "Honestly, sometimes I think Nolan should just date my cousin Sienna instead. She actually has standards." The whole group burst out laughing. One of her friends said something like, "Oh my God, Rebecca, that's brutal." And Rebecca responded, "I'm serious though. Sienna would never let him wear those awful sneakers he loves. She'd have him shaped up in a week." More laughter. I stood there in the hallway, frozen, holding my keys. Another friend chimed in, "Wait, isn't Sienna the one who's like super put together? The lawyer?" "Yeah," Rebecca said. "She's gorgeous, successful, actually knows how to dress. She'd never settle for someone who thinks Olive Garden is a nice dinner." I'd taken Rebecca to Olive Garden once, 2 years ago, because she'd mentioned craving breadsticks. Apparently that was still being used as ammunition. I didn't storm in, didn't make a scene. I quietly walked back out of the apartment, sat in my car for 20 minutes, and thought about what I'd just heard. Not just the words, but the tone, the casual cruelty, the way her friends had laughed like I was a punchline. Then I thought about Sienna. I'd met Rebecca's cousin Sienna multiple times at family events. She was 30, a corporate attorney, and yeah, she was stunning. More than that, though, she'd always been kind to me. We'd had actual conversations at family dinners while Rebecca was off talking to other relatives. Sienna would ask about my hobbies, my work, actually listen to the answers. I'd always noticed she seemed a little uncomfortable with Rebecca's snide remarks about people, including me. Now that I thought back, I'd always thought she was cool, but never considered anything beyond that, because, well, I was with Rebecca. I pulled out my phone and found Sienna's number. We'd exchanged contact info months ago when we were planning a surprise birthday party for Rebecca's mom. I sent a text. "Hey Sienna, it's Nolan. I know this is random, but do you have time for a call?" Something happened, and I could use an outside perspective. She called me 10 minutes later. "Nolan? Is everything okay?" She sounded genuinely concerned. "I don't know," I said honestly. "I just overheard Rebecca say something to her friends that's really sitting wrong with me. Do you have a few minutes?" "Of course. What happened?" I told her everything, word for word, as close as I could remember. There was silence on the other end for a long moment. "Nolan, I'm so sorry," Sienna finally said. "That's incredibly disrespectful. You didn't deserve that. The weird part is, she specifically said you'd be better for me because you have standards, like I'm some project that needs fixing." Sienna laughed, but it wasn't mean. "That's ridiculous. First of all, you're fine exactly as you are. Second, Rebecca's been making comments like that about you for months at family stuff I've noticed. It's always bothered me. I even pulled her aside once after a dinner and told her to ease up, but she brushed it off. Really? Yeah, she does this thing where she'll joke about you not being ambitious enough or not having refined taste, and everyone kind of laughs uncomfortably. I've wanted to say something, but it's not really my place. We talked for another hour. About Rebecca, about relationships, about what respect actually looks like. Sienna was easy to talk to, easier than Rebecca had been in months. By the end of the call, something had shifted in my head. Can I ask you something? I said, sure. If I break up with Rebecca, and I think I'm going to, would you want to grab coffee sometime? Just as friends, no pressure. You're easy to talk to. She was quiet for a second. Yeah, I'd like that. And Nolan? I think you should break up with her. You deserve someone who builds you up, not tears you down. I went back to the apartment around 11 p.m. The girls' night was wrapping up. I waited until everyone left, then found Rebecca in the kitchen loading the dishwasher. We need to talk, I said. She turned around, smiling. Hey, babe, I didn't know you were home. How was guys' night? It got canceled. I came home around 9. I heard what you said to your friends. Her face went pale. Nolan. About how I should date your cousin instead of you because she has standards. About Olive Garden. About my sneakers. I heard all of it. I was joking. No, you weren't. And even if you were, that's not how you talk about someone you love. I'm done, Rebecca. I'm moving out this weekend. She tried to backtrack, tried to say she was just venting, that she didn't mean it, that I was overreacting. I didn't argue. I just told her I'd find somewhere else to sleep that night, and we'd figure out logistics. In the morning I stayed at my buddy Marcus's place. The next day, I came back when Rebecca was at work, packed up my essential stuff, and left my key on the counter. Update 1. The breakup was messy but quick. Rebecca oscillated between apologizing and blaming me for being too sensitive. Her family reached out, most of them supportive of me. Actually, Rebecca's mom called to say she was sorry things didn't work out and that I'd always be welcome at family events. Sienna texted me a few days after. I heard about you and Rebecca. Are you doing okay? We met for coffee that weekend, then dinner the next week, then a movie the week after that. We weren't officially dating. Both of us agreed we needed to take things slow given the circumstances, but we were spending a lot of time together. The first time we hung out, I hesitated on my way to the coffee shop. Was this too soon? Was I just lashing out, using Sienna to get back at Rebecca? It felt messy, morally gray, but then I remembered her voice on the phone, how she'd defended me without knowing I was listening all those times. It wasn't revenge. It was finally choosing something real. Still, I promised myself I'd keep it platonic until I was sure. Sienna was different from Rebecca in every way that mattered. She listened. She asked questions. She laughed at my jokes without making me the punchline. She complimented the things Rebecca had mocked, said my sneakers were comfortable and practical, that she loved how I wasn't pretentious about food or clothes. I always thought you were too good for her, Sienna admitted one night over Thai food. Rebecca's my cousin and I love her, but she's always been kind of shallow. She judges people by surfaces. You two don't seem very similar, I said. We're not. Different parents, different values. I was raised to care about character. She was raised to care about image. A month after the breakup, Sienna and I made things official. We didn't announce it publicly, didn't post on social media, just started calling each other boyfriend and girlfriend. It felt natural, like we'd been heading this direction the whole time. Then came Rebecca's family reunion. Update 2. The family reunion was planned months in advance. Rebecca's mom's side of the family, about 50 people total, at a rented pavilion in a state park. When Sienna got the invitation, she asked me if I wanted to go with her as her date. Won't that be awkward? I asked. Probably, she said with a grin. But I'm not hiding you. If you're comfortable with it, I'd love for you to come. I thought about Rebecca's face when she'd see me walk in with her cousin. The cousin she'd said had standards. The cousin she'd suggested I should date instead. "Let's do it," I said. We didn't tell anyone in advance. Sienna didn't mention she was bringing me. We just showed up on Saturday afternoon, me carrying a cooler of drinks, Sienna in a sundress, looking absolutely incredible. The pavilion was packed. Kids running around, adults clustered in conversation groups, food laid out on long tables. We walked in together, and I immediately spotted Rebecca across the pavilion talking to her mom and aunt. She saw us at the exact same moment. Her face went through about 5 emotions in 2 seconds: confusion, recognition, shock, anger, and something that might have been devastation. The conversation around her died. Her mom followed her gaze and her eyes went wide. Sienna waved cheerfully and led me over to set down the cooler. "Hey everyone! You remember Nolan, right?" Rebecca's mom recovered first. "Nolan, good to see you. I didn't know you were coming." "Sienna invited me," I said simply. "Hope that's okay." "Of course," she said, though she looked uncertain. She glanced at Rebecca, who was standing completely frozen. Rebecca's aunt broke the tension. "Well, this is interesting. Sienna, are you two—" "We're dating," Sienna said matter-of-factly. "Have been for about a month now." You could feel the shift in the entire pavilion. Everyone had heard about Rebecca and me breaking up. Family gossip travels fast. But nobody had known about Sienna and me. Rebecca finally found her voice. "Can I talk to you?" She was looking at me, not Sienna. "I don't think that's a good idea," Sienna said before I could respond. "I wasn't talking to you," Rebecca snapped. "And he's here with me," Sienna said calmly. "So if you have something to say, you can say it in front of both of us." The pavilion had gone completely quiet. Everyone was watching. Suddenly, Uncle Ted, Rebecca's loud peacemaker uncle, jumped in from a nearby table. "Whoa, whoa, ladies! Let's not do this here, Rebecca, honey. Come help me with the grill. Noel and Sienna, grab some food. Family first, right?" He tried herding Rebecca away, but she shrugged him off, eyes locked on us. Ted hovered awkwardly, muttering about burgers burning, before giving up and slinking back to his spot. Rebecca's face was red. "You're dating my cousin? Are you serious right now?" "You told your friends I should date her instead of you," I said evenly. "You said she has standards, so I took your advice." That was a joke. It wasn't funny. And honestly, Rebecca, you were right. Sienna does have standards. She doesn't make me feel small. She doesn't mock me in front of her friends. She actually likes me for who I am. Rebecca looked at Sienna. "How could you do this?" Sienna shrugged. "How could I date a good guy who you treated poorly and then dumped? Pretty easily, actually." Rebecca's mom stepped in. "Okay, let's all take a breath. This is a family event. We can all be adults here." "I'm being an adult," Sienna said. "I'm just not going to apologize for dating someone who's available and who I care about." Rebecca grabbed her purse and left, just walked straight to her car and drove away. Her mom went after her but came back 10 minutes later saying Rebecca had already gone. The rest of the reunion was actually fine. A little awkward at first, but people warmed up quickly. Sienna's parents were there, and they were incredibly welcoming to me. Several relatives came up privately to say they were glad I'd moved on, and that Sienna and I seemed happy together. We stayed for 3 hours, helped clean up, and left holding hands. Update 3. The fallout from the reunion was predictable. Rebecca apparently had a meltdown to her immediate family about how betrayed she felt, how Sienna had violated girl code, how I was vindictive and cruel for bringing up what she'd said at girls' night. She'd tried calling and texting me a few times in the week after, stuff like, "We need to talk and this isn't over." But I kept responses short or ignored them. Sienna's mom called her the next day. I was there when she took the call. "Mom, I'm not apologizing. No, he didn't pursue me for revenge. We genuinely connected. She broke up with him, or he broke up with her. Same difference. They're not together. Mom, She literally told her friends he should date me instead. How is that my fault? After she hung up, Sienna looked frustrated. My mom thinks we should have waited longer out of respect for Rebecca's feelings. Do you think that? I asked. No. Rebecca didn't respect your feelings when you were together. Why should we put our lives on hold for her? The family drama escalated over the next few weeks. Rebecca's friends started leaving passive-aggressive comments on Sienna's old Instagram posts. Nothing direct, just things like loyalty matters and family should come first. Sienna ignored all of it. What we didn't expect was Rebecca's attempt at reconciliation. About 2 weeks after the reunion, she showed up at Sienna's apartment unannounced. I happened to be there making dinner when the doorbell rang. Sienna opened the door. Rebecca, what are you doing here? I need to talk to you, Rebecca said. Her eyes were red, like she'd been crying. Then she saw me in the background. Of course he's here. He lives here now, Sienna said calmly. We moved in together last week. That clearly wasn't information Rebecca had. Her face crumpled. You moved in together? It's been like 6 weeks. Actually, it's been almost 3 months since you and Nolan broke up. And what we do isn't really your business. He was my fiancé, Sienna. My fiancé. And you just swooped in like what? Sienna's voice got sharper. Like someone who actually appreciates him? Rebecca, you spent months making him feel worthless. You mocked him to your friends. You literally said he should date me instead because I have standards. Well, I do have standards, and one of them is treating people with basic respect. Rebecca's voice broke. I made a mistake. I was frustrated and I said something stupid, and now I've lost everything. He was supposed to be my husband. I walked over and stood next to Sienna. Rebecca, you didn't lose me because of one comment. You lost me because of a pattern. The comment at girls' night was just the moment I finally heard it clearly. I can change, she said desperately. I've been going to therapy. I realize I was taking my stress out on you, and it wasn't fair. I want to fix this. There's nothing to fix, I said gently. I've moved on. I'm happy. I hope you find that too. But it's not going to be with me. Rebecca looked at Sienna. You're really going to do this? You're really going to marry him, knowing he was supposed to marry me? Nobody said anything about marriage, Sienna replied. But yeah, I'm really going to date him. I'm really going to build a life with him. And I'm not going to feel guilty about it because you didn't value what you had. Rebecca wiped her eyes. I hope you're happy together, she said bitterly, and left. After the door closed, Sienna turned to me. That was intense. You okay? I asked. Yeah, are you? I pulled her into a hug. I'm good. That needed to happen. Final update. It's been 6 months since the family reunion, and life has settled into something really good. Mostly Sienna and I are still together and stronger than ever. We've talked about marriage, not immediately, but it's in our future. We're taking our time, building something solid. Rebecca moved to another city about 3 months ago. Got a job transfer, fresh start, all of that. From what I hear through the family grapevine, she's doing better, still single, but working on herself. Sienna's mom said Rebecca apologized to her for causing family drama, which is progress, I guess. The family dynamics have mostly normalized, but not perfectly. Sienna and Rebecca's mom have repaired their relationship. We still get invited to family events, and we go to most of them, though it's awkward when someone brings up Rebecca or gives us side-eye. Rebecca doesn't attend when she knows we'll be there, which is probably for the best. I still feel a twinge of guilt sometimes, like maybe we could have handled the timing better, or worry that some relatives judge us as the scandal couple. My family loves Sienna. My mom told me last month that she always thought Rebecca was a bit much, but didn't want to say anything while we were together. Thanks, Mom, helpful timing. The weirdest part is running into Rebecca's old friends occasionally. A couple of them have actually apologized to me for laughing that night at girls' night. One of them, Jessica, told me she felt terrible about it afterward, but didn't know how to bring it up at the time. I appreciated that. Sienna got promoted at her firm 2 months ago. We celebrated with a weekend trip to the mountains. No fancy restaurants, just hiking and campfires and terrible camp food. It was perfect. That's the thing about being with someone who actually likes you. The simple things become enough. I think about that night sometimes, standing in the hallway listening to Rebecca mock me to her friends. It was humiliating and hurtful, but it was also clarifying. It showed me what I'd been accepting, what I'd normalized. Sometimes you need to hit rock bottom in a relationship to realize you've been settling. Rebecca taught me what I don't want. Sienna is teaching me what I deserve. Last week, Sienna and I were having dinner at home. Nothing fancy, just pasta and wine. And she said something that stuck with me. "You know what I love about us?" she said. "We don't have to pretend. You wear your comfortable sneakers and I think they're cute. You take me to casual restaurants and I have fun, we just fit." She's right. We do fit. Not because either of us changed who we are, but because we appreciate who the other person already is. It's not perfect. Family gatherings can still be tense. And yeah, I catch myself overthinking if this all happened too fast sometimes. But it's real. As for Rebecca, I genuinely hope she finds that too. I hope she finds someone who loves her completely and who she doesn't feel the need to change or criticize. I hope she learns that relationships built on trying to improve someone are relationships built on sand. But mostly, I just don't think about her anymore. I'm too busy being grateful for what I have now. A partner who sees me, values me, and chooses me every single day without reservation. Even if not everyone gets it. Turns out Rebecca was right about one thing. Sienna does have standards. She has standards for how she expects to be treated and how she treats others. And somehow, miraculously, I meet those standards exactly as I am. That's not something I'm ever taking for granted again.